How do you marry that circumstance and your passion together and become a founder? What is the take there?
यार अगर मैं देखूं कि like so if somebody is coming from a family background जहाँ पर अगर मैं आज से काम करना शुरू ना करूं और पैसे ना कमाऊं तो आज शाम को मेरे मम्मी के पास खाना खाने के लिए नहीं है.
Correct.
That's one kind of a situation you can be in, and then you have no option. You get the hell up and you do what you got to do,
right,
to put food on the table.
Right.
But let's say that problem is solved, where for most of middle class India, like the backgrounds we came from, that problem is solved. जहाँ पर खाना है, घर पे खाना है.
हताश नहीं हो आप.
Now comes the really tough decisions where you can make here. Firstly, I don't think too many people know what they love. That's one very big issue. Or I don't even know if that's an issue, but many people
go a little granular on this. Go a little deep on what you mean by this.
Okay, so you took an example of you love doing theatre. That is because you exposed yourself to theatre. You exposed yourself to 12 other things. You happen to realize after 12 things you are exposed to that, hey, this is something I'm very naturally inclined towards.
Bilkul.
What do you mean you like something? That means your natural inclination is that.
Bilkul.
है ना? You found theatre, so you realize मेरी natural inclination है ये. मैं 12 घंटे कर रहा हूँ but काम ही नहीं लग रहा.
Correct. Affinity है.
Vibe to it.
एक vibe है और मजा आ रहा है.
Correct. But how many people know that? And at what age, right? You must be in your
20s. 18, 19.
18, right? So even earlier, late teens. How many people can say that with surety that they have something they actually like to do? Do what you love. So something they actually love to do. How many people can say that? Rare, very few. But let's say that is true. And let's say the issue of putting food on the table does not exist in your family. You have to still mend for your, or earn enough to have your own expenses ताकि मम्मी पापा पे वो भार ना
पड़े. Correct.
But उतने तो थिएटर से कमा सकते हैं. Now the issue happens that
बहुत मुश्किल है बड़ा ठीक है.
बहुत मुश्किल है, right? Maybe the quality of lifestyle खराब होनी पड़ेगी थोड़ी सी.
I mean like it's comparative. My first job I started at $1,500 a month. हाँ मतलब थिएटर होता तो 700-800 रुपए होता शायद.
बिल्कुल. मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूँ. मेरे को साइकिलिंग परस्यू करनी थी. मेरे को अपना करियर साइकिलिंग में बनाना था.
As a professional cyclist.
As a professional cyclist, I took that decision. So I used to live in a servant quarter of some. There was a Bangalore में जहाँ हम ट्रेनिंग करते थे, वहाँ पर this government officer had made a house.
को क्वार्टर्स के नीचे साइड में जो देते हैं भाड़े पे.
ये छत पे था.
तो जैसे दिल्ली में मैं बरसाती में शुरू किया था. दिल्ली में आप लोगों का एक बरसाती का कॉन्सेप्ट होता है, which is very funny. Higher you go, the lower is the rent. Because वहाँ पे ना asbestos sheet होता है और गर्मी ज़्यादा होता है. But yeah, continue.
Absolutely.
So you took that call.
हाँ, तो मतलब मैं अपना I took that call and there was no issue with me taking that call, and because I knew.
But you took that call to sacrifice your lifestyle for your passion.
Yeah, because I couldn't afford, like, या तो मैं इतने पैसे कमा रहा होता कि मैं अपनी लाइफस्टाइल अपने हिसाब से
सही बात है,
या फिर मैं कम कमा रहा हूँ तो अपनी लाइफस्टाइल उस हिसाब से जीनी पड़ेगी अगर मुझे ये काम करना है. वरना मैं वो काम करूँ जहाँ पर पैसे अच्छे मिलते हैं बट मेरे को कुछ शायद दिल से the calling is not there to do that particular other thing which gives you more money, which is fine. And I don't think it's a like when you're so young, it doesn't make really a big deal which one you choose actually.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I chose this, where I pursued cycling, and it taught me so goddamn much.
Go a little deeper. What?
So I was an endurance cyclist. That is long distance cycling. It starts with minimum long distance cycling counts is 200 kilometers approximately. So the longest race I did was 619 kilometers. That basically means you sit on a bike and for 619 kilometers
keep
you
pedaling.
go. Yeah, you can take micro breaks, but if you take long breaks, you lose the race.
Right.
More or less. Yeah, that's a whole different beast when I was 16, 17 when I was doing this. And for a 17-year-old kid to basically go 400 kilometers from Bangalore to Vellore and back.
जुनून चाहिए पागलों वाला.
That's ridiculous. And it builds you up. It builds your character up. And I think that only. So not to go too detailed into any of this, but
so यार ये long format show है भाई. Go deep, go granular. You don't have to skip the details. I want the details because the viewers need the details.
Got it.
And I'm taking you back to zones where hopefully you may not even have thought of reflecting on.
Yeah. And therefore I need to really articulate my thoughts because
it's very deep यार. एक ऐसा पहलू होगा जिंदगी का, ऐसा phase होगा जिंदगी का जो बहुत साल पहले पीछे छूट गया. And you're going in there. So tell us. I have so many friends who've done so many sports aspects, and they come and talk about the usual things. It develops character, it develops discipline, it develops long-term sustainability. All of that is there. But isko chhod ke thoda hatke bata. How did it develop Shobhit to be the Shobhit as an entrepreneur? I want to connect that hook.
So I'll tell you a story. Okay, I was doing a 600-kilometer race, and I was maybe 17 at this time. And I had just turned 17 actually. I remember this was in April. April or May maybe.
When do you turn? What's your birthday?
February, end of Feb. So you could say like 25th of Feb is my birthday.
Okay.
So this is maybe late April, early May, something like that. It's hot.
Right.
I'm going from Bangalore to Chennai and back. Bangalore to the border of Chennai, come back to Bangalore. That's the race. And about 300 kilometers in, we have to find the spot to take the U-turn on. And because about 30 people are attempting this race only, because it's 600 goddamn kilometers. So we are at the 300 kilometer mark and we can't find the U-turn because 30 people, so they're spread out everywhere.
Right.
और अंधेरा पूरा रात के मतलब 9, 10, 11 बजे हुए हैं. हम ढूंढ रहे हैं, कुछ मिल नहीं रहा है. And then we take a right turn and we go down. 9 kilometers later, I find out that I'm going the wrong way. I get angry. I'm on the bike. There is a support car with me and my father is in that car, always there. I took a U-turn. Finally, he said, wrong way. See, imagine it's a race. You're 300 kilometers, 12, 13 hours of riding a bike in. I'm hurting. I'm in pain. My
blisters.
My toes are bleeding. So in cycling, what happens is that your jersey rubs over your nipples and your nipples start bleeding sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm in distress. 300 kilometers in. Longest race of my life I'm riding. I take a U-turn of that 9 extra kilometers. Then I have to ride the 9 kilometers back. 9 kilometers. It feels a lot when you
each kilometer is like a 10 kilometer situation then.
We finally find the spot. I get off my bike and I'm shouting, what the hell are you guys doing? मतलब थोड़ा सा
the angst.
वो इतना सुहाव गालियाँ नहीं दे, मतलब proper गालियाँ दे रहा था मैं. My dad came, slapped me across my face, said, get back on the bike, finish the goddamn race. I got back on the bike. I rode 300 kilometers back. Became the youngest person in the world to qualify for the Paris and learned the life lesson of my life.
It's about the race. Never get off it. Beautiful. Coming back to your thought. Now this is deep, right? Let's understand that mindset shift. To say you could have had the best possible chartered path for yourself. To take a call like this also needs a lot of bravery. I don't want to play the gender card here, but a lot of times people also have that mindset to say, yaar, it's always better to not to take the unprecedented, not to take the uncharted path, but go by the tested path, because यहाँ पे तो श्योर शॉट सक्सेस मिलेगा, ढंग का लाइफ हो जाएगा, ढंग का नेक्स्ट लेवल हो जाएगा, शादी हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा, फलाना ढिमकाना. Now for you to think of all of that and then say, nahi yaar, this is not my calling. What motivated the founder mindset? How does one know that I am meant to try and build something? I am meant to try and create something, and that is my true calling. What happened with you?
I think Shobhit's conversation has made me I feel this is the first time that even I am hearing this story with so many details. So it's...
See, that's the purpose of this. That's the lifeboat. So I had to take a deep breath and regain my composure to continue.
Yeah, I can feel my heart pumping. But anyway, I think, I don't know. Okay, let me just try and structure my thoughts. I don't know what a founder is. Or, this whole image that we try to create of a founder being a builder, being a superhero, being someone who's completely radical, someone who's taking risks and all of that. I don't know, there are so many stories, you read so many books, each persona makes you believe that, okay, this is the archetype, right? This is who you need to be and this is what you need to kind of follow. And for some people that drives you, right? These are the 5 traits, you feel like you can match those traits to who you are, whether you have the risk-taking ability, whether you're, you can inspire people, whether you are granular, whether you have a big dream, all of that, and then you can classify yourself as a founder. But for me, what drives me is accomplishment. It doesn't matter that today I'm an entrepreneur, tomorrow, or in my role, I'm a CEO, tomorrow I might be someone else. But am I accomplishing something in every stage of my life? And am I adding to the world in some way which is bigger than what my comparative would do?
Go a little deeper. Define accomplishment for Supriya. What is your definition of accomplishment?
I don't have a definition, but I think it's different, right? Each phase you set some goals, and then those goals become like your key driver. So, for example, like if we break down the journey of Josh Talks, nobody wanted to advertise on our platform. Okay, nobody knew why they should partner with an organization like Josh. We were like these two hep kids out of college and like, you know, trying to do something. People were comparing us to TED, saying, oh, TED of India ban gaya and all of that. But at the end of the day, like, nobody was willing to back it monetarily. At that stage, my accomplishment was defined by that the biggest companies in the world will associate with Josh, and that's it. And that became a parameter. Fortunately, over the last couple of years, we've had partners like Google, Facebook, Amazon. Everyone works with Josh today. So, and they back us. The largest foundations in the world also back Josh. So that was one stage of accomplishment, that if you think we can't monetize, we will monetize. And we will show you that you can do it in the most seamless way, in the most authentic way, and you don't have to lose your like your brand.
Your ethos.
Yeah, your ethos.
But we'll go to Josh a little later.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Supriya now. So I want to understand the sense of Supriya's mindset to know when she was ready to become a founder. What for our viewers, the clearance of the fog to say, yaar, it's a binary call. Ye karna hai ya ye karna hai. What made Supriya take that binary call? I want to get a little deeper on that.
It was when the reality became so visual that if I was to become a CA, who would I be? And that persona didn't appeal to me. You know, that imagery of being on a desk, what my day would look like, what my attribution to the work would be, how the world would see me, what kind of value will I add, who would I be working for, what change would I have created. When that became a lot more real, when Shobhit and I started talking, and it just felt like that's not the best outcome of my life. You know, that's not the DNA that I have. That's not the potential, like the best use of my potential, right? And I think at that phase, it became very clear who I don't want to be. And then there was a process of elimination in a way. Ki, okay, who do I see myself as? Like, and I think that's when a lot of like the role of role models kicked in, right? What I was consuming on the internet, who I was watching, what were some of the traits and conversations that really appealed to me. And then that became like a set of characteristics that I wanted to define myself as, or the role that I wanted to play. And then it, like, I don't know if I'm born to be a founder. It just happened. And now that I'm here, I have to play that role. And tomorrow it may be a different role.
But I have some interesting thoughts on that I can connect with her on. You know, at Josh, we don't value the word founder at all. Inside, my role is of a sanchalak, operator. The day I stop operating, I lose that role. And you know, the reason is that the word founder, I think, is what it portrays today is, I think, a little bit of a fake image also.
Little? Or maybe over glamorized at several contexts.
At several contexts. I'll tell you how that transition happened.
Yeah.
I deeply cared about changing something in the world. Which was that लोगों में काबिलियत है यार, कोई कुछ कर क्यों नहीं रहा, दुनिया ये कैसे चलती है? If you're born to a not relatively well-to-do exposed family, you do nothing with your life. That essentially means 90% of the country is doing nothing with their life. They have so much potential in them, yet we are not able to, the world functions in a way कि हम potential बाहर नहीं निकाल पा रहे हैं. ये करना था मुझे. This is what I wanted to solve for. What I had fallen in love with, the idea, this is the world, like what's a wrong that you want to right? This is the wrong I wanted to right. And starting Josh Talks was never the goal. The goal was to find somebody who's solving this. And I did try to do that, but I just found nobody who was doing it in this manner. And that led to us having to start Josh.